ladies and gentlemen, you've just had access to a cold plunge, but now do you use it every day? And what sports does it affect? If you do bodybuilding, if you do strength training, if you do literally any other sport, that's what I'll be covering in this video, and how often you should use it, depending on what sport you do, and if you should even use it at all. So the first thing we're going to cover, which is the majority of my viewership, which is bodybuilding specific, growing muscle and getting jacked, as we like to call it. The best advice for cold plunge use is pretty much never. And let me tell you why. When you use the cold plunge, you notice how if your muscles are stiff, you use the cold plunge and then they're no longer stiff. The stiffness is a good indicator that your muscles are growing because they've experienced a lot of stimulus, fatigue, and breakdown, and now they're rebuilding, and that's what that stiffness is. Your muscles rebuilding. So if you get rid of that, no matter how you get rid of it, if you get rid of the stiffness, that means you're getting rid of the recovery. So from a muscle building aspect, if you go in the cold plunge, yes, it'll quicken your recovery and you feel like you're not stiff anymore, which is good because you're recovered, but that means that you just cut your recovery short, which means you're not fully recovered, so you won't gain as much muscle like at all. Unless you do it just before you're fully recovered, then you would still gain muscle, but not as much as you're capable of. And the only time, the only time I would say it's a good idea to cold plunge from a bodybuilding aspect is if you've had a rest day or two. I would say like 2 rest days, and let's say you've got some other random sport that you're competing in or whatever, and you need to be nice and fresh. Go in the cold plunge and then you'll feel fresh, and those 2 days will allow your body to recover the muscle that needs recovering. And if you just do it for the sake of enjoyment but you don't want it to affect bodybuilding, then yeah, after about 2 days of rest, or like when you take your week off or whatever and you do a deload week or whatever, then it's fine. And from a strength perspective for powerlifters and whatever, pretty much the same, because building muscle and building strength go really hand in hand a lot of the time. That's why a lot of people do power building, which is a mixture of powerlifting and bodybuilding, because generally speaking, the more muscle you have, the more force you can produce, because that's what muscle is. It's a force producer. So bodybuilding and strength building kind of go hand in hand, especially in this topic. We treat it pretty much the same. You don't want to use the cold plunge because then you won't actually gain as much strength due to a shortened recovery. And if you, outside of bodybuilding and powerlifting, if you do any other sport, let's say you do like running, or you do like flipping surfing, or skiing or skating, anything like that, any sport that's not requires you to be really muscular or really strong, then use the cold plunge away. Obviously you can use it a lot more, but still be a bit hesitant. The best time to use it, and actually a really good idea to use it, is just before, if you have competitions or days that you want to perform really well, then on the morning or the day before, then hit the cold plunge, because then your muscles will be fresh, and you'll be able to perform really well. But when you start the sport and your body's still getting used to it, then don't use the cold plunge, because your body won't recover from it well, so therefore you won't get your body in a state where it's used to that kind of stuff in as quick of a time. It'll feel like your body takes so much longer to get in the state where it can handle this new sport because of your constant stopping recovery during cold plunges. So ladies and gentlemen, that's about it. Be cautious because it stops your recovery, but if you do another sport and you need to perform well in the day, then please, like a competition or whatever, then please do cold plunge day before and on the morning maybe, just to make sure that you're nice and fresh. That's a very good idea. But otherwise, muscle gain, strength gain, I would advise you to completely stay away from it. The recovery aspect of it helping grow your muscles is absolute nonsense. All it does is it stops you from recovering, meaning it stops you from growing. So keep that in mind. Subscribe, and oh yes, 3, 2, 1, boom, here's a video. This is what you, did I just go boom? Yes, I went boom. Anyway, here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll really like. It's also a similar style to this video, so I'd recommend you watch this because I spit just as much facts, except somewhere else on a different chair. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.